Florida Congressman Byron Donalds is a man who's been fighting back against the administration's political use of the DOJ and the FBI. Congressman, thanks so much for coming back on the program. We went over a lot right there. Just your initial take when you heard that the FBI raided 3 independent journalists' homes looking for a diary. Is this what we use the FBI for now?
Absolutely not. I think what's going on is very, very concerning. I mean, unless that information, that diary, is somehow attributable to threats against national security, or there are thefts of classified material, where the FBI should be looking into that. But I remember they kind of passed on the whole Hillary Clinton thing a few years ago. Right. But look, let's be very clear. This is very concerning when the FBI is being used to track down people who are blowing the whistle, that are, frankly, would help hurt this administration or anybody in the bureaucracy or in the fourth estate. It's a real concern.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up Hillary Clinton, because those were emails when she was Secretary of State, and she was using not the secure server, her own, and sending emails back and forth between not only folks in the Obama administration, but other foreign leaders, we were told. So that obviously could have been something that was sensitive material. This is a adult woman's journal, or diary, if you will. I don't think there was anything to expose national security or issues in there. So to me, when I look at it, Congressman, I go, this is a president who doesn't want the dirty secrets of his family out there, so he weaponizes the DOJ and FBI and sends them after poor James O Keefe and his reporters who are out there trying to find truth in this dirty thing we call politics. And that disgusts the hell out of me as a journalist of 20-some years.
I totally agree with you. I think it's outrageous. Listen, if what's in the diary provides very colorful and damning information about the first family, then that stuff should be brought to light. But the FBI shouldn't be used to hold it into one of their investigations, which, frankly, go on for years. And that's one thing people need to understand, is that when the FBI does an investigation, it goes on for a very, very long time before the public is even made aware of what's going on. The fact, if it wasn't for James O Keefe, we probably wouldn't even known that this diary was taken by the FBI. I'm very concerned. It's going to be a lot of questions on this, because we shouldn't have a political FBI, especially considering the fact that you had the other gentleman that was just indicted who was giving false information to what became the Russian dossier, which is now basically blown up Russiagate, that the entire country was fixated on incorrectly, mind you, for the past 3 years. So we have some serious issues over there that need to get cleaned up, and this should not be happening, in my view. But we'll see what happens as we continue to investigate it.
Yeah, it just continues to erode Americans' trust in our institutions. I mean, we know that there has been corruption going back to the Hoover days and the creation of it. But there for a while, we thought that the G-men, the dudes in the black suits showing up, were out there to help. But in the last few years, and I believe it started primarily under the Obama administration, I saw a lot of it, where you have our leaders using the DOJ and the FBI as their own political, henchmen to go out and do dastardly deeds against anyone who would speak out against them. That's the way I'm viewing it, and that's the way I think millions of Americans are starting to see it. And Byron, that's a scary thought, isn't it? Because these are supposed to be the good guys. And again, I'm not throwing the men and women that put those suits on and go out and do the investigating. There's a lot of great Americans that work for the FBI. I'm talking about the bureaucrats who are running it and allowing a Biden administration to use them as a weapon.
Totally agree. I think the concerning part is that so many aspects of the federal bureaucracy are highly political. And I think what is concerning so many Americans is why, frankly, there's so much distrust in political institutions, is because in the governmental institutions, because they are being political, and the Democrats find this way of wielding that political power through the bureaucracy, through the administrative state, with no repercussions whatsoever. Meanwhile, what they accuse Republicans of all the time is that we're going to somehow be wielding government authorities to basically hold down and tamp down dissent amongst the American people. But that's actually not true. We've seen this happen time and time again under Democrat administrations. And it's something that's very, very concerning. We need to be looking into it. I mean, look, I know Nancy Pelosi's not going to be holding hearings anytime soon. She's too busy trying to figure out how she's going to pass another piece of monstrosity and worrying about January 6th. Those are the only two things that she gets to worry about and she cares about, to be perfectly honest with you. But we should be looking into this as well. The FBI should not be being used for political purposes.